You ghouls love your evidence-free musings, don't you? That doesn't belong in the news. That belongs in a penny saver column called Dana's Digressions. There's literally no proof for what you're saying. These people are so insane they think election officials are finding ballots the way George Costanza found that eclair. It's a good ballot, Jerry. It was above the rim. Then this morning, Fox News went to work trying to sustain the deranged conspiracy theory that just counting votes mean magically finding votes because they can't do basic math.
That guy's supposed to be a comedian, you know. He's paid millions of dollars by a legacy media network to be an unfunny pain in the ass on TV, but he's supposed to be a comedian. Yeah. Really funny stuff there. I guess we're supposed to just accept when Michigan, for example, in the dead of night, says they found over 100,000 votes and every single one of them went for Biden. And then they came back later and said, oh, okay, you know, we actually made an addition error. So it wasn't that we really found 100. Okay, but the people that pointed at that and said, oh, that's a problem, they're not the jerks. The people that yell at them saying, what do you mean, conspiracy theorist? They're the jerks. You know, if you're watching a sporting event and you know the two basketball teams are tied at 60, and then a minute later one of the teams has an additional 30 points, pointing at the board and saying, hey, that's a problem, doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you not a moron. But they want you to just be insecure. They want you to feel like you don't want to be one of the bad people that are questioning the dominant narrative. Because, oh, yeah, what does the government do without problems? Do you realize the government pays out every year $60 to $80 billion with a B in Medicare and Medicaid fraud every year? Billion. 60 to 80 billion. That's the estimate. It could even be higher than that. And that's just, you know, they just can't track it all down. Can't find, you know, that's just the government writing checks to people that are not supposed to be getting them. Giving payments to doctors for procedures not done. Giving reimbursements to people for things that never happened. I mean, what part of government action at this level isn't going to be fraught with problem? All we're really talking about here, all the conservatives want, all the Trump campaign is asking for, is that legally counted ballots are the standard. That's it. That the rules be applied. You know, when it was possible to try to throw Trump campaign officials or somebody who was a Trump advisor in prison because of a process crime, whatever, you know, lying to the FBI about nothing or whatever, it was the law is the law. You'll notice the law is the law when they can use it as a weapon. And no deference to mens rea, your state of mind when you're committing this crime. Did you actually think you're committing a crime? No. The law is the law. They will tell you there is no room for nuance or anything else if it means that a Republican can get hurt, can get crushed. And so if it's a political weapon for them, exactly what it says is all that matters about rules, about the law. But in elections, it's more like, it's kind of like make this a little bit of more of a creative exercise. Is this ballot really filled out? No, but I see a, in the corner here, I see something that looks like it was a thing, and it's kind of close to the Biden the Biden circle, and so I'm just going to say, yeah, let's go with that. Friends, it's absurd. We see what they're doing. We're aware of what's happening right now, and it's just frankly wrong. It's just wrong. But they've convinced themselves they're saving the country, right? If you were, you know, when you're the basic like 101 ethics class or, you know, some of the philosophy class in college, you're talking about basic ethics, and people will ask these questions like, is it moral to steal a loaf of bread to feed your starving children, right? I mean, then people will ask these things. And these are questions. Understand that in Democrats' minds, defeating Trump is the proverbial stealing the loaf of bread to feed the starving children. It doesn't matter what they have to do. All that matters is that it worked. Their actions are inherently justified by the righteousness of the cause. That's what's going on all around you now. In Michigan, in Arizona, in Pennsylvania, in Nevada, in Georgia. And if people are so funny too. They really, I can't even keep up with all the idiotic, sick burns they give you on social media. They'll say, this looks weird. And then they'll get all these people to flood your timeline with, well, the election chair there or the person running it is a Republican. Yeah, okay. That doesn't mean that people who are actually doing the ballot counting aren't being handed a stack of ballots that all say Joe Biden. There's nothing that the guy who runs the election being a Republican does to change. But people are so dumb and think they're smart. That's really, I think, actually one of the, I wouldn't say it's a defining characteristic, but one of the telltale signs of a liberal is they always think they're about 20 IQ points smarter than they really are. So wherever they are. So if you got a lib that's like pretty bright, they think they're a genius. You got a lib that's, pretty average, they think they're really smart. I mean, that's just the way that they are, because they're surrounded with all these influences that tell them just by believing what they believe politically. They're so bright, they're so wise. And that comes across in the way they even have these kinds of arguments. That comes across in the way they approach these political questions. So, friends, like I've been telling you, dig in. Yes, we are wartime conservatives, and this is going to be political trench warfare.
Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.